Hey, hello, hello. Oh, I need to close my email. Hello. Let's see who's here. Anyone I know? Oops. Hello, Oh, hi, I know who you are. Kenneth. Shouldn't you all be asleep? What are you up to? It's a bit late, isn't it? The thing is, I just realized, should probably, turn off the donation thing. It's not appropriate in this instance. I'm gonna need to go to where's my settings and everything. Give me a second while I get that done. This doesn't feel right. I have that on like normally, but not today. Yeah, I had to make you wait a little bit longer. Sorry, because I was out in city center when I scheduled it, and then I thought I'd be back by then, but turns out no. There was quite a bit of traffic there, so it didn't work out. So I had to postpone it, and then also make you wait a little bit. It's weirdly warm today for the season, and I was sweating a lot. But I just got that sorted out. Hello, lots of people I don't recognize here. Jack, hi Jack, hi there. Noah Zoa, hello. Thinking of all the people in Hong Kong right now, incredibly sad. Exactly. That's why, I don't know, I just feel like I want to gather whoever, feels the need for this commiseration or sharing our feelings, just to chat a little bit. I don't even know what to chat about, but if you're here, we can like share a bit about how we feel if we need to. Guess who is getting so cooked? You're getting cooked. Oh my god, that's not a very good time to say cooked, but okay. So what happened? If you see the thumbnail, I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure like how many people in different parts of the world are aware of what just happened last night. I know that like when I mention it with some of my colleagues and friends over here in the UK, lots of people are vaguely aware. They're vaguely aware of what just happened, but not much detail. Of course, absolutely not by far, not like in the same level of detail that we have been like following. I just decided I should probably close that. Because it's been in the news. I think I've seen it in UK news. I've seen it in German news. Not sure about elsewhere. Might not have reached other places, parts of the world. Who knows? Noswedar, thanks for the inspiration to learn my native tongue. Started lesson a couple of months ago. How are you learning it? Are you doing the Dusky Cymraeg courses? Reminds me of the Grenfell Tower in London, but far worse. Where are you based? Are you from Britain yourself, Missy Gonk, or are you from Hong Kong? I definitely. So before we get into it, so what happened was, if just to catch everyone up, right? So there was a huge fire basically in Hong Kong. That spread to like, I don't know, seven of 8 buildings in like a day and a half, and then killed at least. What's the latest number, Chad? Do you have the latest number? Because the last time I checked, which was several hours ago, that was around I think there was 75 dead, and then it's very likely to keep going up, and it's kind of mad. It's like the nightmare scenario. Sorry, what's with the fog here? Because the thing about Hong Kong, the number one feature you need to know about Hong Kong is how dense it is. Like some of my friends have asked me, how did it spread from one building to another? Like, how does that even work? And the answer is everything's just really close together. Because when I looked at pictures of Grenfell Tower, which was the apartment building in London that sort of had similar fate, it was like basically like a lone building in the middle of nowhere, like in the midst of nothing else. But in Hong Kong, just everything's like so densely packed together, like easily 8, 10, 30, 40 story buildings, apartment buildings, just close, packed together. So like anything that sort of flies off one building, like any flame or burning material or whatever, like wind blows, and you could easily spread to other ones. So that was, yeah. I think the death toll has exceeded Grenfell. Not that it's a competition, obviously not. It's like you want it to be as low as possible, but I think at this point it's the deadliest fire in Hong Kong since 1948. So like since before China was a thing. That was mad. 2 hours a week. Yeah. Well, are you on like a Minetiad then? Minetiad at the entry level. We were the anghofio tin siarad Cymraeg dwi'n Nghymru. Tin dod o Cymru yn reiddiol. Hundreds missing. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's likely to go up. Like, especially after easily a day and a half. If people are still missing, I really doubt they are still with us. That's why I'm like, there's 200 missing. They're not going to be like hanging out somewhere in a bush. They're not going to be, I don't know, in Japan or something. They're probably just gone at this point. Really sad. One of my friends is from Hong Kong, and after hearing this is saddening. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you guys this as well, since we're like a little community here. I've been contacted by Radio Cymru. I'm going to be talking about this tomorrow morning, incredibly early. So I've also been thinking about what I want to say, and we can go through some of that together if you want to. I can help you practice your Cymraeg by practicing what to say on the radio. Minetiad. Is there any clue as to the cause? That is the main thing that people have been discussing. So I'll talk about that later. Iskandar, Habibi, I'm finally here for one of your lives. I was actually going to text you, but it's just not the best entry to my like live content. I don't know why is it like fogging up so much. I swear it's not me. I'm just really warm because I literally just arrived on the bike at super speed. That's why. Was it not the best point of entry to my live content, because normally I do like study streams, but yeah, today I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to like hang out and talk about things a little bit. Yeah, once in a while we do these little just chatting streams. I also just remembered, should I put this on Twitch as well? I could probably be doing that. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Can I be bothered to do that? You know what? I'll do that anyway. Hold on, give me 1 second, just out of habit. Where is my 1 second, edit stream info, just chatting. This would be my first ever just chatting stream on Twitch actually, but yeah, let's see if anyone shows up over there as well. So yeah, once in a while I'll do like a just chatting stream, which is actually quite rare for my channel, but yeah, I think the last one was when I reached like 10k subscribers. That was a happy stream. Dod o Abertawe. We're only in Abertawe. Dim lot o amser and all. Not even the walled city had a fire like that. That is weird. I mean, I guess if they had so in the Kowloon walled city, in the densest place in the world, where they had insane amounts of people packed together in a very tiny space, which is today a park. If they had a fire like this, then yeah, they would probably have been all very dead, considering, you know, the reason why that walled city even existed in the first place was because it was like a no man's land. Like neither the Brits nor the Chinese or nor anyone claimed, nobody claimed that land. That's why it was like just there, and people moved in to do things that are not that would not have been legal in either British Hong Kong or China at the time. And so I doubt they would have had very good fire service at the time. So they got lucky, I think. I mean, they had incredibly difficult lives in there, obviously. But yeah, they got lucky there. But this one, it's maddening just to see all the videos. Especially, I think there was a live stream of the fire. Obviously, people are not watching for entertainment. That would be insane. But like, people trying to follow what's going on or how the firefighting was going, and so on. My thoughts go out to the fine people of Hong Kong and Taipo, especially. Stay strong, Hong Kong cousins. Best and fondest regards from Kent. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, my thoughts go out to them as well. It's especially, it feels powerless when you are part of the community, but you're so far away. It's not that I could have done anything if I were in Hong Kong. Still would have been pretty helpless, but at least I don't know. There's been lots of like support action to help them out. I mean, obviously there is like donations and things, but also lots of people immediately mobilized to like give them resources, whatever they need. You know, water, food, blankets. I don't know, anything. And that's actually the main thing that made me so emotional. I don't know like how regular this current viewership is, but I might have mentioned before that I'm not a person that cries at sad things. In general, like in films, but also like in real life. Something sad, usually I don't cry, but then I cry at really like inspiring things, like people doing great deeds, they're being selfless and helping people. And yeah, this afternoon I was just in my university common room, and I sort of I'm so glad I was there alone. Nobody was there. It just so happens that people were all hanging out elsewhere, and I was there alone, and I just sort of was bawling. Is that brawl? Is that the word? I suddenly can't English anymore. Ball, right? Is that the word? I think. Someone please check my English. I can't speak it. Yeah, sobbing, or maybe sobbing, that's a better word. Just because like when I kept reading posts, like that's what lots of Hong Kongers have been doing, whether they're in Hong Kong or elsewhere. Hello, Sean. Yeah, lots of unexpected people showing up today, but I guess it's out of the ordinary kind of situation. But thanks for dropping by. Yeah. So I was saying, I know lots of people, whether in Hong Kong or elsewhere, who've just been up all night in either time zones, just scrolling social media, because there's only so much like we could have been doing to help the situation, because we're not firefighters, obviously. So, and then yeah, I sort of did the same. I was up online until like 2, and then I realized I had to teach this morning at 9, so I just sort of tried my best to rush into bed and make it to class next morning, but still, it was very hard. There's lots going on, obviously updates, news, and also lots of discourse surrounding the cause, as QWERTY the fish asked, the cause of the fire, like things that people have been doing to help out. Bawling, pronounced bawling, like shorter. But does that mean like crying, as in like tears kind of crying, or does that just mean crying as in shouting? Not my strongest suit, literary English. Ball, learns it's gall and not goal. You never stop learning English, or any language for that matter. That's so true. I actually just learned a word today alongside with my friend Samuel. We learned the word inquest. I mean, I know Inquisition from the memes. But apparently the whatever authorities in Hong Kong have started an inquest into the causes, I think. Inquest as in like research, investigation. I don't know whether how common that word is, because I know investigation, I don't know inquest. Bawl your eyes out. Yeah, I've heard that phrase. Yeah. To be fair, I probably didn't bawl my eyes out. It's not a very manly thing to do. That's not me, but you know, yeah, I couldn't help it. And I had lots of. Thankfully, I was in a common room. There's easily lots of paper towels available and all that. Yeah, so I was reading about the things that people were doing. So last night, just during the fire, I think someone vibe coded a web app to help people report their status, like whether they are safe or not. And I can see it's vibe coding because it's got the classic, the purple pink gradient. I'm like, this is the first time I can get behind vibe coding because that was really quick. That was during the fire, and someone made something right away, and it worked. So I'm like, yeah. I mean, not long ago, I was dissing Gen AI and all that, and I just recently made some clips about Gen AI, but in this scenario, yeah, I can really get behind that. That's really quick, and that's actually saving lives, I think, at least I hope. And that was really necessary because it's just the sheer amount of people involved, because that was like 8 towers. Each tower had like, I don't know, can anyone fact check me? I don't, maybe like 40 stories ish, at least 30 something. And then each story had, again, I don't know how many, let's say 8 flats. So I briefly did the maths, and that was probably like way beyond 2,000 flats. So let's say at least 2 people in each flat. That would be 4,000 people. So it would have been really hard to make sure everyone's safe in that scenario, in that emergency. And so someone just made that web app for people to like say, I'm from this flat, I'm fine, or like I'm from this flat, it's really bad. Please help, or like what specifically what I need, that kind of stuff, so that people could possibly help them. I don't know how much that helped actually, because I don't know how the internet signal is inside the fire, but I hope that helped. And I was just like, yeah, there's so much talent in this place. People are like, when they want to help, they are so incredibly good at doing stuff. They could just do things as well. Normally hear inquiry. Do people not just say inquiry? I don't know. I was told people say inquest. Do you know the word juxtaposition? I actually do. I use that a lot in music. It's like art language. Complicated language, yes. I hope you're managing to have some mental breaks. It's difficult to watch your community from afar, and the internet is good at making that as stressful as possible. Yeah, it's been stressful, especially the powerlessness, I guess. Hello, SD8N on Twitch. Yes, sorry, I sometimes forget to check, especially when I don't see anyone on there. But once I know there's someone on Twitch, I do look at chat there, even though it's not on screen. So SD8N, welcome to the stream. I do that as well now. I don't know how you found me. I assume you sound like you know me already. So welcome to my Twitch. I do both. I'm still mainly on YouTube, but you know, never hurts to like expand my community. What was I saying? Forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, the stress things. It did remind me of a few years back during the protests, because I was also in the UK at the time. I moved to the UK like a year before the protests, and I was watching everything happening from afar. And the sense of powerlessness really gets to you. I guess once again, like, even if I were in Hong Kong, and still I would have been powerless. But you know, when you're in a different time zone, when literally you can't even take public transport to get to the location, if you wanted to, that really feels like, oh, what am I doing? Why am I here? That was also why I wrote my opera in the first place, because I was like, I want to do something, and I can't do it in person. AI as a tool is great. It's the system that uses it to threaten jobs and generate produce slot for profit. Yeah, that's why I say I always say I'm against AI hype specifically, as in like the corporate need to stuff it in everything. That is the thing that really annoys me. And to generate more profits and reduce quality and shitify everything and cut jobs and everything. That's the thing I really hate. But yeah, when it's used right, it is a tool. You know, like a knife is a tool. You can use it to kill someone, but you can use it to make great food. So it's like that. What's the word? The phrase double edged. No, is that what it's called? My English, man. Double edged sword. Yeah. Double edged sword. that kind of language, honestly, I just haven't used for so long. Why? Is it because I never read in English now? Probably. I just got a new phone and the AI bloat is unbelievable. Honestly, I can't even see how it gives them higher profits. It gives them... I don't know. I guess someone buys into the hype. I mean, some consumers like it, and then potentially... the point is, like, in the future, at some point, it gives them returns, right? But right now, everyone's just using their venture capital and spending it on developing stuff that wastes their money. So, yeah, it's just, that's why it's a bubble. But I'm not a tech YouTuber. What am I talking about? ChatGPT, yes, having an AI assistant on every app. No, yeah. I've heard... even if you have whatever company, you add an AI chatbot, like customer service on your website, it proves to your investors that you are not behind the times. So you could kind of feel the need to do that. They often want to report to shareholders they added. Yeah, exactly. They just want to say that we did something. We're not being left behind by technology. I don't think it's even raising profits. I think it's just sunk cost fallacy. Maybe I don't know. I'm not a big company. Speaking of big companies, let's get back to the fire thing. Yeah. So the investigation has just started into the cause behind the fire, but yeah, we don't really know anything yet, and we hope the investigation will actually do something. I think some people managing the construction company have been arrested, yes, for one. And then I think the what even is the full name of ICAC? The Office Against Corruption has got involved. So in Hong Kong, yeah, that I told my colleague today, that's one of the one of the best things from the last days of the our colonial times, which is we got an office that is specifically independent, and it exists to investigate corruption because there was so much of it back in the day, and now it's still working, and assuming that they're not corrupt, they are investigating if there's any corruption involved that led to the fire. There might as well be, because there's definitely like large corporations involved, or at least corporations, not, I don't know how large, but there's some corporate greed and trying to cut costs. Only looking at the pictures, it looks like the fire spread through the bamboo scaffolding, combined the density of the buildings. That's what we're trying to talk about here. That is a fallacy, that is misinformation, potentially disinformation as well, being spread by lots of different parties. Inquest is legal, inquiry is governmental. Really? Is that how you use the words? See, I'm just learning English right now. So, number one, the misinformation is that bamboo was the cause. That's just plain wrong, because if you look at pictures, News Starlight, if you look at pictures after the fire, the bamboo is very much still standing, so it absolutely did not burn, at least not like didn't collapse or anything. And especially if you compare that to metal scaffolding melts, and that's why things collapse, just like when you had the fire in Notre Dame. The scaffolding melted and then the roof collapsed and everything. So the good thing about the scaffolding that we had was, thankfully, they were still standing despite the fire. Orientalism runs deep in the colonial West. You're preempting me, Iskandar. I was getting to that a little bit. I was getting to that. And that is one thing that really annoyed me as well. So that is the main bit of misinformation. Now, how it's being spread. It's just... I was telling my friend today, it does feel like it is us against everyone, like the little guys, ordinary people in Hong Kong against every like corporate / governmental entity / media entity out there, because the Hong Kong government is not hasn't really done anything about it. They're too busy, you know, thanking the Chinese government for like their incredible care and their help or whatever, even though they didn't do anything. They were like, the first thing the chief executive said was thank you to the Chinese government for caring so much for us, instead of like thanking the firefighters, especially the one who passed away. And so they're too busy, you know, licking asses and all that. Fair enough. And also they're too busy like blaming the bamboo because they are very desperate to replace that, integrate further with our dear mainland, and, you know, replace all the experienced local workforce with other ones with other facets of experience. And then the Chinese government's too busy like showing off how much they care. They're like, oh, we love you guys, good job, hey, hang in there. And even like back then, you know, a few years back, during the process when it felt like we were against everyone, Hong Kong people were kind of counting on the West to support them, right? They were like, oh yeah, the Western world, the democratic world, they're with us, they're gonna like tell the truth and everything. Not this time. They were too busy like, again, blaming the bamboo, because white people or like Westerners, they see that bamboo like, oh, that looks foreign, that looks unfamiliar, must mean like they're like a backward culture, and we don't understand it, so it must be bad. And hence, you know, what HKer said, Orientalism runs deep, because the Eurocentric worldview is the way we do things is necessarily the best way. Now, I'm not saying either way is the best way, but both ways have had like decades and even centuries of experience of being used, especially in Hong Kong, where every building is a high-rise building. We've been doing that for ages. Like even the crazy tall, like 100-story buildings are built with bamboo scaffolding. But like the Eurocentric worldview is like, yeah, no, they don't do it our way, so they must be wrong. And then so they even like there isn't even any sort of evidence or investigation or inquiry that's happened, and they're like, nah, it's probably bamboo. Bamboo is basically wood, right? And wood is flammable, so bamboo must be flammable. Oh, sorry. Oh, the table. It's yeah, I did notice that when I edit my clips. Sorry, I do apologize for that. But you know how I feel. That's that's what happens when I'm like, inquiry just started for some reason, makes people feel confident to say exactly what happened. I don't understand why. Yeah, I mean, the main point is, that's again what I'm going to say in Radio Comedy as well. We don't know exactly what happened. We have ideas. There is like some evidence for every possible reason. I mean, it's indefinitely, well, indefinitely, well, no, but not indefinitely. Inevitably, inevitably, it's definitely a combination of factors. Like, that's the thing about hazard prevention, right? So on every step of the way, on every stage, you do something, there's some regulations to reduce the hazard to the minimum. And but you know, none of the steps is perfect. There's definitely some problems with them, but the goal is that by going through all the steps of hazard prevention, eventually the hazard is eliminated. But it just so happens that every step of the way there is some problem, something went wrong, some people not doing the jobs well, and some like materials not up to snuff, not according to standard, and eventually the hazard went through, and that's what you get. No, I was just 抛磚引玉. Yeah, and I know. Lots of Hong Kongers are on Threads, and I've also been like retweeting old habits. Retweeting, we're not on Twitter anymore, but you know, reposting things, and that is the main thing that annoyed me. Yeah, the limited worldview. You know, I mean, as a person who's lived in the West for a little bit, I speak many languages. I understand the dynamics between different cultures and peoples. Like, I'm very invested in, like, you know, cultural clashes, racial harmony, and all that. So I think about these things a lot, and it just really pissed me off that people jump to conclusions just because they saw something unfamiliar. There are far more flammable materials on a construction site than bamboo scaffolding. Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that later. Isn't the bamboo used for stuff like it's often green, hence fire resistant? I won't claim that I'm an expert. Like, I've seen arguments on both sides, because some people use the argument that we have kind of dish where you cook rice within like a bamboo, what's the word? Stick? I don't know what the word is. So literally you burn it on a fire, on an open fire, and it is fine. So that's one side of the argument. The other side of the argument is that that's when it is moist, like when it's fresh picked from the ground, has more moisture and it's more fire resistant. And then when it dries out, it's less fire resistant. But the strongest evidence I've seen is that, you know, the bamboo is literally still standing after the fire. So I don't think there is a stronger argument than that. Like, unless somehow it spreads fire but does not burn itself. Again, I'm not an expert, so like I'm open to different side of the argument. If the inquiry is properly formed out, the only way to get closer is to the truth when needed. Tell us about the Swiss cheese model. Again, that's what I was referencing. I won't pretend to be an expert. I'm like sharing, you know, my thoughts. You know, this is my platform. I say what I'm thinking, and I share more importantly, I'm sharing how I feel right now. But yeah, what I've seen is there's a Swiss cheese model. So basically, like different layers of like cheese, right? Cheese has holes in it, and in the classic depiction of Swiss cheese. So each layer of hazard prevention is like a slice of cheese, and there's holes, and that's fine, because if hazard goes through the hole in one layer, it's stopped by solid cheese on the next layer. Or eventually, if you have enough layers of cheese, there is no holes. Like when you stack the cheese together, all the holes are plugged, right, by other slices of cheese. But this is what happened yesterday. Something went through all the holes. I do like that model. It's very helpful to think about it that way. Often with big accidents and stuff, there's like 5 different errors, mistakes leading to it. Yeah, especially something that drastic. Again, the worst one since before the PRC existed. That is insane to think about. So we can like now it sounds like I'm analyzing it, but you know, I don't want to give an impression that I know stuff. Okay, just a disclaimer. I'm just speaking my mind, but I want to discuss with you guys, and we can like share our feelings here. So the most obvious thing that people have been talking about is the cladding, the green net that is outside of the scaffolding, and I assume that is for like preventing people from falling from the scaffolding, right? If I'm correct. And normally it is required that that cladding be made of a fire-resistant material, and I've seen videos of people demonstrating. But nowadays, like, in this like stupid AI age, nothing is really reliable anymore. You can't see a video and take it as fact. But I mean, if it's fire resistant, then I assume that it is fire resistant. Hi Michelle, welcome. I know you just went through your thing, so like we have a little bit of a discussion and like commiseration or whatever, sharing session here. Just chatting. So if it's depressing, feel free to dip out. Yes, the mesh. Yeah, so that cladding, the mesh, it is supposed to be fire resistant, but it wasn't. It just wasn't, and that was obviously corporations, corporate greed, cost cutting. Apparently they saved like 40 Hong Kong dollars per flat on average, like £4. You know, £4 How many people died for that? That's insane to think about. That's the first thing. I think that was the most obvious thing. It's to prevent falling and dropping things. Yeah, exactly. That's why I assume it is. And I was really bad, and you can see in the aftermath, like it's all burnt away. it's all gone. And people even like picked up some pieces of it and tried to like safely burn it, and it does burn very quickly. So that might have been the main thing that made it spread. Manufacturers are supposed to lab test them before they can sell it. Crazy they cut that corner. Because they're like, we're probably fine. You know, there are other things that safeguard the construction. Nobody's checking. And I did read that. Apparently, there has been, like, what's the control? That's not control. What's the word? It's been checked. Like, the authorities have, like, checked the certification of the material. But somehow, they let it go. So either they had a fake certification, which is not uncommon in that part of the world. That could have been a fake certification of the fire-resistant properties. Or corruption. And you don't know. Either one. But somehow they checked it. They were assured that it is fire-resistant, but it wasn't. This sounds so much like a Grenfell Tower fight. Please do educate me, because I'm vaguely aware. I know lots of people have been joined the connection, but I haven't, I've been too focused on this one thing to look into that other thing, right? I want to learn more about that and like what we could have learned from that. But, I'm slightly occupied right now. So please feel free to like educate me on like any parallels you see or what I should know about Grenfell Tower. I just know that it's a thing that happened and it was very sad. That's all I know about it. That was in like noughties, right? The 2000 noughties. So many people affected too. Yeah, that's insane. So that's a mesh. What else? Apparently they blocked off windows with like styrofoam. And I don't know. Can anyone... I'm sure there are people who know things in chat, because people have been reading up on things. So I don't know for what reason they blocked off all the windows. Is it for convenience, or is it for like soundproofing maybe while the construction was undergoing? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, for context, the building was under renovation. That's why it was, yeah, it was not being built. They were not being built. If they had been being built, then there wouldn't have been people living in it, right? But they were under renovation. That's why there were people living there. But there was also scaffolding. There were like there was styrofoam blocking the windows and everything. And styrofoam was very flammable, and that didn't help at all. The cause of that was the owners using cheaper material that wasn't fire resistant. Oh, great! Yeah, great. That's why. It was 2017. What? Really? Oh shit. Oh yeah. Sorry. It was. I stand corrected. That is a lot more recent than I thought. I just know it was not the current decade. Okay, 2017. I was like a year before I moved here. That feels so recent. I'm going to be honest with you. The textiles and fashion industry is one of the most underregulated, so the certificate could have been faked, which is so messed up. Oh, right, because... Wait, hold on. Do you think that is part of the textile industry? Is that what it is? Polystyrene insulates, but it is also really flammable. No, I don't know. Is it? What is polystyrene? Is that what it's called? Is it polystyrene? Polystyrene is... Which... Oh, so that's... Oh, there's the foam, yeah. Yeah. So I'll be very honest with you guys. I mean, I never hide things, right? I'll be honest. I did not know it was flammable, but that's why I don't work in construction. I don't work in any flammable industry. I make music, and music is generally not flammable. So I didn't need to know that, but now I do because of this, and that's a horrible way to learn something new. So yeah, it was polystyrene, and was it insulating heat or noise? I could only guess it was noise. Grenfell was recently renovated and used bad material, if I recall correctly. Okay, I see. Yeah, I know that. I know the aftermath of Grenfell Tower, which was that the regulation was much stricter. Because I know some things about like buying a flat or a house And yeah, that's an important part, that you need the certification that they have replaced the flammable material with something that is safe in order for it to be sold. Significant disasters occur during refurbishment always. York Minster and Notre Dame. York Minster, did that happen to York Minster? I didn't know that. I know Notre Dame, obviously. I watched it live because fire preventions are bypassed or turned off. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that does remind me. Apparently, the fire alarms weren't working as either in those buildings. At least some of them. Anyway, that's mad. That is mad. Like, that's the at least alert people that was going on. But no, it was just literally, they weren't working, and people would have just burnt alive if they were sleeping, if they had been sleeping. Yeah, so I don't know whose fault that is. It may be like management or something. Yeah, everyone thinks of natural fibers as being flammable, but polystyrene and other plastics are truly scary when manufactured wrong. Well, I mean, lots of people misunderstand materials anyway. Materials have nothing to do with, I mean, they have something to do, but like they don't have like necessary correlations with where they're from, right? It's like what they're composed of, and if you work with them, you should know their properties. Music isn't flammable, but it can be fire. I hope mine is. Hopefully. Check out my music channel. Oh, sorry, that's not. It feels weird to promote things, but you know, my music is sometimes fire, but not one that spreads. The music itself spreads. It could be, but they may have just overlooked the lack of a certificate and ignored that the material isn't fire resistant. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who made that decision. Someone made the decision, and you know, other people suffer the consequences. If they cut corners on the renovations, it wouldn't surprise me if they just ignore that. That's so. You mean the polystyrene foam? Yeah, that would make sense. So they were like, oh, we're gonna do it on the cheap, and we're gonna put this in just to block, to insulate, and then keep costs down. Yeah, and also that even though they were cutting corners, it was like one of the, because there were like several proposals, you know, like people bidding for the project, so different companies trying to bid for the project, and they picked like one of the more expensive ones. That's why it cost so much, like 330 million Hong Kong dollars. So for the Brits, that will be 33 million pounds. They picked one of the more expensive ones, and despite that, corners were cut. So I don't know if that's not corporate greed. I don't know what that is. 8 years ago, there still haven't been any arrests or criminal charges against any individual. I hope more justice is served in Hong Kong compared to Grenfell. I sure hope so. But I'm not optimistic. I mean, you know, with Hong Kong. Hong Kong has always been a great place for corporations. That was how it was built, right? It was built to be the capitalist utopia. We are famously more capitalistic than America. So we've been aware of like collusion between corporations and the government, or just politicians in general, for ages. It's just whether that has directly affected everyday people's lives. So I'm not optimistic. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I'm not even jumping to like blaming you know, the Chinese controlled government or anything. It's just Hong Kong has always been like this, and that's why we had the corruption office to prevent that. But you know, it's hasn't changed. It hasn't been solved. And I guess wherever there's politics, there's always some sort of corruption. But that's, yeah. I also saw posts of residents of those buildings complaining about certain things. Like, I think last month or months ago, people were complaining about the decisions, the measures taken by the construction company, such as the foam, and also the fact that the construction workers were smoking against regulations. But no, that fell on deaf ears, and the local councillor specifically responded to that and not even dismissed. The local councillor condemned the concerns raised. Like she condemned the people who were complaining about the project. Yeah, look where we are now. They're still investigating, so there's a shred of hope. Okay, good to know. Good to know. 8 years. To be fair, these things can take forever. Yeah. But do you know, like, do we know what actually happened there? Was that, do we know for certain the cause, or is it even now, are they just saying, oh, we don't know for sure, we're just guessing, we're just investigating? Has anyone been? No, there haven't been any arrests. So in Hong Kong, there have been some arrests. They have arrested some management people in the construction companies. That's all I know. But I don't know. I don't know how far it goes up to the top. Because, as I said, the collusion, right? I actually. So as I said earlier, if you missed that, I said earlier that I have been invited to give my thoughts on Welsh radio, because there's only so many people from Hong Kong who can speak Welsh. So apparently I'm the representative now. So that's why I've been sort of mulling over these things. Is that the word? Why am I learning English live? I keep using words that I'm not sure about, but it just felt right to me. Yeah, mulling over. Yeah. So I've been mulling over these things mainly because of that. I wanted to like get the message across, and also I've been learning the vocabulary. Like, I know how to talk about corruption now in Welsh, and also lots of like construction things. Like well, I don't know cladding, but I know net for sure. Rhwyd. Inflammable cladding, yeah. Isn't it annoying that flammable and inflammable mean the same thing? I've seen lots of posts from Hong Kong people trying to discuss the situation in English, but they think that inflammable means non-flammable, but it doesn't. So it just gets the opposite message across. Or it should be non-flammable, but now it's inflammable. So I guess they would have accidentally said the correct thing. I don't know how that works. I didn't bang my hands on the table. It's just me resting my arms here. Someone who cared more about making profit than safety of the residents. But you know what? That's just, that's classic corporate behavior, right? As a pessimist myself, I'm openly pessimistic. I never shy away from that. I just see things I just expect the worst things to happen. I always expect corporations to do the worst, so it all falls down to the regulators to actually enforce the regulations. Oh, what's happening? What is this? Oh, hello, someone subscribed to. Hello, Hannah. Don't know if you're here, but if you're here, welcome. The joys of capitalism. Yeah. I do believe that humans are inherently selfish. Well, I've just been disproven, but in general, I think that humans are selfish. So if they can cut corners, they will cut corners. So it falls down to it's upon the regulators to actually do something about it. And well, as I said earlier, they tried to, but something went wrong. Either the check wasn't thorough enough, or they were corrupt. I don't know. And there's some other things that were not checked. For example, people were talking about a lot about smokers, and there were a lot of angry voices against smoking. And I mean, just to throw that out there, I hate smoking. Don't hate smokers personally, but I hate smoking as an activity. But at the same time, as I said, like, if the rules are not enforced well enough, people are going to do the worst. People are selfish, so if you don't stop them smoking, they will be smoking. So I don't think it's entirely fair to put all the blame on that one person who started the fire, because like people are generally convinced that it started because of like a cigarette. To because especially, I don't know, some of those people like intentionally throw their cigarette butts somewhere flammable just for the thrill of it. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the cause, like the trigger for the fire, but it's not the actual the reason behind the disaster, right? And because like if that's the culture that was cultivated within that working environment, like people are thinking, oh, we don't have to follow the safety rules, we can smoke anytime we want, and nobody checks really, then people will be doing that. It's just like they're crossing the road illegally, not illegally, but like during on red, right? In the UK it's not illegal. I know in North America it's illegal because that's where jaywalking, the concept, came from. In Hong Kong, jaywalking is now illegal, and it is actually enforced since a few years back, after I left Hong Kong. So I haven't experienced being caught for jaywalking, but it is happening a lot. Rob Words talked about inflammable and other lost pot. Yeah, I know. It must have been a while ago, right? But that's not a lost positive, because there is an apparent positive and negative. There's flammable and inflammable. It's not like I'm ruthless. That's a lost positive. There's no positive. There's no ruthful. It's actually really cool. You get to be sort of the representative to Welsh radio, because that means you're not entirely powerless to help. Reading that got me to like, feel something in here. It does. Yeah, you're very right. Spark matter. That's very ironic in the current discussion. Spark matter. Anyway, yeah, I feel like I can do something, and that's why I feel like a huge responsibility to get this right. Like, I've been talking to my friends about like what kind of messaging I want to try to get across within those 5 minutes. Someone like a research assistant or someone called me today to like get the basic facts, and I get the feeling that they won't be asking about the causes or the bamboo because I'm not an expert. So I will have to be proactive in combating the misinformation. So I will probably be like, well, I feel incredibly sad, but also angry, which is true. I'm angry at everyone who is spreading misinformation, and I think that is really disrespectful towards the deceased if you can't even do them the honor of properly addressing the causes, right? If you just go and say, oh, hey, you died, but bamboo, probably like wood, probably flammable, so that we should have seen that coming. People have been saying that, so I want to proactively combat that when I get my time. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I need to work on that. It's also going to be very early in the morning. It's going to be in 12 hours and a few minutes. So if I'm too sleepy to achieve anything, I will have tried my best. So you're so uncontinental. Wait, what was I talking about? What do you mean? I missed that. What is uncontinental? What does that mean? Iskandar. I've never seen that word. I mean, I live in the island. I live in the UK. That is uncontinental. A whole building burning because of one cigarette has more problems than a cigarette. Yeah, exactly. I mean, people want to blame one thing, right? People want simple answers, and that's sort of that nature causes lots of problems in our society. People want simple answers. I mean, we can go back to immigration and all that, but the fact is that it's never going to be simple, and so you can't really just blame one thing. I think combating corporate greed is proportionally more important than combating people smoking because they feel like they're not going to be punished. Even though I do hate people smoking, you know what I mean. I hate it when people throw them on the ground and don't put them out. It just stinks, or it can be a fire hazard. Yeah. I mean, I have friends who smoke, and obviously they know the hazards, and they sort of find ways to mitigate that. Like they find safe places to throw him. Now that's good. And ironically, you know, the really ironic thing was the same thing happened in the same day, just to a much smaller extent. Because literally just before that fire, in another part of Hong Kong, another fire broke out, and that was due to someone tossing a cigarette like into some artificial grass. And there was like a living wall kind of thing. We have that in Manchester Uni. There's a wall full of artificial grass. Oh, the one in Uni is real grass, but you know, there was a wall of fake grass, and someone tossed a cigarette onto that, and all the grass burnt up. Thankfully that was stopped in time, so that was okay. But it's insane to think about, like, both things happened on the same day. I don't not buy into the conspiracy that it might have been intentional to, you know, phase out the bamboo thing, but I don't think it would have been intentional. But I do believe, and I do see that the government will be using this opportunity to phase out the bamboo scaffolding, whatever it takes, because they've been wanting to do that. It's like, you know, I don't know how many of you know what happened in Manchester just like a couple of months back. And we had an old mill that burnt down, and there have been lots of conspiracy theories about that. Again, I don't necessarily believe it, but I don't not believe it either. You know what I'm saying? So it's because like lots of big developers have been eyeing that location. They've been wanting to build, I don't know, student flats or something, really expensive flats. They've been wanting that to do that for a long time, and they put out plans to like construct a building, like maintain the facade of the mill and construct a building in the middle of it, so that you can keep the protected building, because it's really old. But that would have been really expensive. And then just conveniently, the building burnt down for no reason, and people were like, what? And similar thing, like the Hong Kong government have been trying to ban the bamboo scaffolding for the past, like, I don't know, year or so. And then conveniently, like, 3 buildings go up in flames. Like, what? The truth must win. Yeah. Sorry, I was referring to the dislike for smoking. Oh, right, the dislike for smoking. Right, yeah. It is. I guess, yeah. It's. I don't know how the culture is different, because definitely the attitudes towards smoking are very different in like mainland China and Hong Kong. That's for sure. We had lots of like anti-smoking campaigns. Even like in the church I was growing up in, my church was also a school at the same time. Every time I went into the toilet, I would see lots of posters about like smoking isn't a cool guy thing. It is inconsiderate and all that. And that's been a thing as long as I've been alive. And it's just like how in the UK, when I go into toilets, I still see like the COVID era, how to wash your hands posters. It's basically like that. It's everywhere. I don't know how it's like in like China, because smoking is definitely a lot more commonplace. I think, I mean, Hong Kong is a very judgmental place, and we have a lot of like stereotyping going on. So if you smoke or if you have a tattoo, people are gonna stereotype you as like a gang member, or what are other words for that? Like people who like delinquents. Is that a word? Yeah, delinquents. Whereas it's interesting, like over here, when I moved to UK, I mean, smoking is a lot more commonplace. It is not looked down upon. I mean, it's probably like, some people will be annoyed by it, but it's not like, oh, you smoke, you must be a bad person. It's not that. It's just a personal decision that may be a little bit inconsiderate. But that's why we have vaping in the UK, right? It's so commonplace. Everyone vapes. And like lots of people have tattoos. There's nothing wrong with that. Whereas in Hong Kong, if you have a tattoo, people are like, oh, yeah, you're probably a criminal. Yeah, I always say like Hong Kong is a weird mix of like the old Chinese conservatism and the British Christian conservatism. So that's why we're like ultra conservative. Like we have governmental campaigns to tell people not to engage in premarital sex. I mean, that's crazy. Like, what kind of overreaching is that? But in terms of tattoos, it's because like we say that, oh, your body is a gift from your parents. So if you get a tattoo, it's like disrespectful to your parents. So yeah, there was another one. Yeah, the other one was okay. Like no, I think nobody got hurt in the other one. Are you concerned about voicing your opinion about a disaster in Hong Kong? What with state surveillance? But bro, I haven't been in Hong Kong in ages, and there's a good reason for that. It's not the first time I've said things. So yeah. Why though? Bamboo is naturally fire resistant to some extent, and it's sustainable, fairly cheap. Why get rid of it? Wow, you're a bamboo simp now, Michelle. I've been joking about how everyone in Hong Kong are bamboo simps now. It's so funny. Like we have never loved bamboo so much as we do now, just because we feel like the need to defend it against everyone else in the world, every party, every country. I mean, we like our bamboo, but not to that degree. And why? Again, okay, conspiracy theories. No proof, but the thing is, so Hong Kong construction workers have been trained in using bamboo for ages, like since last century or even earlier. So there's a lot of expertise, and everyone working in the industry has been properly trained and licensed to bind the bamboo to make scaffolding that is really secure and flexible and do all that. And we don't have the same level of expertise as with like metal scaffolding, because we don't use it normally. And then the theory is we want to introduce or to hire workers from mainland China, and the bamboo scaffolding is stopping that because they don't have the expertise with bamboo. So the government is trying to remove that. The obstacle. And at the same time, that sort of disqualifies the local expertise and talent and working in the industry. That's what the prevalent way of thinking is currently. And I do think I don't want to make this completely a Hong Kong versus China thing, because it might be, but at the same time, corporate greed, because they want to bring those corporations to our city and replace our local talent. And cost cutting, again, because in general, workers from mainland China, cheaper. I'm so anti-capitalist, it's insane. Like, how far I've descended. Hong Kong people would disown me if they heard me say this. Guys, I'm like stuck in the middle. Like I'm like defending the Hong Kong traditional culture, and also defending bamboo and all that, but at the same time I'm like so anti-capitalist. I'm like neither. Both sides are gonna hate me. I remember that. It's really sad, and I honestly can't believe it was on purpose for the mill. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me either. I think that's my attitude towards these conspiracy theories. I don't think they're necessarily true, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like I've been saying in comments, if it probably won't be exposed, but like if somehow this fire was arson, I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. And especially not surprised that they're trying to take advantage of this to ban bamboo. Now, I mean, in continental Europe, people generally smoke more in the UK. Really? Oh, yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Because in the UK, it's been sort of replaced by vapes. More than in Anglophone countries, but coincidentally, in continental China, people also smoke a lot. I wonder why. Like, what is the connection? Is it like continental people just like smoking? Like with the continental breakfasts? Or maybe like the Hong Kong and like Anglophonia connection. Is that a thing? It's very likely, it might as well be a thing. It could be the culture sort of came from the Brits, and we followed in their footsteps and sort of banned that. I mean, as I said, we are we are a mix of the best kinds of conservatisms. In Iceland, we would say it's a mainland thing, which could also be misunderstood. Mainland, as in like mainland Europe. Is that what you mean, Limbo Gagino? Is that what you mean? Mainland Europe. I mean, we could say that. I mean, they mean the same thing anyway, right? Mainland? Do mainland and continent mainland? Oh, wait, hold on. Chat, do they mean the same thing? What do you think? Because in Cantonese, they would be the same word. But I don't know if in English they mean the same thing. If it's not broken, there's no need to change it. Yeah, well, there's probably some political / financial motivations. I love you for being Hong Kong leftist. Oh, don't say that. It's people are gonna kill me for that. I'm gonna be crucified. No, but I'm leftist. In Hong Kong, we say like 左膠, which is you could approximately translate that into English as left turd, even though the R word is probably very bad to use in the. But I mean encompasses, that captures. No, not encapture. Enrapture. No, encompasses the vibe, because gao is also derived from a vulgar word, so I think that sort of translates pretty well into like left hood. Yeah, or as people usually say nowadays, woke. And you know, in the West you say, oh, woke is everything I don't like, right? And basically that's the same thing in Hong Kong, especially with how the left and right are pretty much like flipped. Political class. Hey, this is properly Rhapsody in politics now. In Hong Kong, politics of the left and right, or the popular understanding of the left and right, are pretty much the reverse. So in the West, the right is the conservatives, and the left are like the liberals, the revolutionaries or whatever, right? Because the rightist policies have been the mainstream, has been the establishment for most of contemporary history. That's why. Whereas in Hong Kong, the conservatives are the leftists, at least the way we say it. Because the reason is because the conservatives in Hong Kong are also the Beijing loyalists, so they listen to the Chinese Communist Party, who is obviously, at least nominally, a leftist party. So that's why in Hong Kong, when we say left, we mean conservative. We mean like communist. I mean, left and communist is the same thing, but yeah. And we mean like authoritarian, all that stuff, right? Stuff that you generally in the West associate with the right, such as reform and all that. Except the communist part. That's not part of it. But yeah. So whereas in Hong Kong, the right are the liberals, because we are against the. Let me put that in quotes. The right in Hong Kong are the liberals, because we're against, you know, everything that the loyalists are as they stand for. So it's been. I remember being in the West for the first little bit, or like at least being exposed to like British politics. In the beginning, I was pretty confused, because that sort of goes against everything I understood about what the left and right meant. But that's how we talk about the two wings classically in Hong Kong. Even though, if you actually look at the ideologies and policies, the right are pretty much the left, because we feel like equality, you know, freedom. We call that pro-democracy. I mean, pro-democracy isn't even a thing in the West, because everyone is pro-democracy, right? Everyone thinks democracy is a good thing. In Hong Kong, democracy is an ideology that you have to support and fight for. So, yeah, we call that pro-democracy. That's the right. But also we support like equality. For example, you know, LGBT rights. That's a very rightist thing in Hong Kong. Or like, but at the same time, you know, our right is also economically rightist. I'm actually not sure anymore, because the economic topics are not as prevalent as the social. So the economic ideologies are not as prevalent in like discourse as social ideologies. So, but at the same time, yeah. Now, hold on. I'll rephrase. From my understanding of the Hong Kong right, I do think that the Hong Kong right was against like big corporations. So yeah, that's pretty much still leftist. So yeah, everything's flipped. And it's kind of silly when you think about it, because we flipped it just because the ruling party is a communist party, and that's the only reason. But in terms of everything else, we are pretty much like the Hong Kong right is the Western left, and vice versa. Crazy in the time since the last of Israel's stream. I watched it and I moved house and I got a girlfriend. Congratulations. You know, in Hong Kong culture, if your friend gets a girlfriend or a partner, enters a relationship, the friend has to treat everyone to a meal. So that's on you now. You're buying a pint at least. Next time we meet, you're buying a pint. That happened to me actually. Time when I started a relationship, which was the only time I've ever done that. I happened to be. I did a concert with my colleagues in university, and then afterwards we went to Lan Kwai Fong, which is the clubbing, pubbing area in Hong Kong, the white area. And then everyone made me buy like a whole round, and that was the most I'd ever spent in one night. I was like £90. I remember like 900 Hong Kong dollars. I still remember it. That was 7 fucking years ago, and I still remember that night. I'd never spent so much on one meal, and it's just the drinks. So yeah, next pint's on you. That's our culture. This is super interesting as an American. I'm glad that was interesting. I've always been keen on like talking about these things. I want to introduce our very unique culture to people. I guess this is the time and place for that. I am pretty proud of how unique we are, for lack of a better word. Unfortunately, thankfully in the Czech Republic, they've made stricter rules on smoking. Well, the rules are one thing. Whether they're enforced, that's the main problem, right? Because but back to the fire thing, we've gone like way away from the thing, but now we're getting back to that because of the smoking. There are strict rules. They are very clear. Do not smoke in the construction site, but they still do it. So it's not about the rules; it's about whether they are enforced. And that's interesting as well, because I made a comment about this on social media, because Hong Kong people are in a way quite naive. I do think it's a cultural difference. I've heard this theory of like fear-based culture versus shame-based culture. So I don't know. No, guilt. Sorry, guilt. Oh shit, I forgot which is which. But basically, in Western Christianized countries, you do things. You don't do things because there will be consequences. Whereas in like, at least where I'm from, I can't speak for the rest of my region, but where I'm from, in general, you don't do things because you will be shamed for it. People will see you doing wrong things and they would shame you. That's the idea. Like you're afraid of people seeing you as a bad person and shaming you. So hold on, I need to like charge this light. So that's why there is a certain naivete, I think, within my culture. Not everyone, but like in general, where people think if it's illegal, that means it won't be done. But sadly, that's not how things work. And people, if even if something's illegal, if people think they're justified, they will do that. So that sadly, that's true. That's why that's a pessimist thing. But yeah, and also I guess that's partly our Confucian like culture, Confucianist based culture, because everyone's taught to be proper and do what you should do. I guess it's a very general sentiment. I don't know how to put that in words because I'm not a philosopher, but I just feel like that could be like a Christianity versus Confucianism thing, where you're more concerned about how people see you how people perceive you in society, and that's not even limited to like criminal activities, just how you behave in general. Like, let's say you are very drunk. I guess you're very drunk, then you would do anything. But okay, let's say you're in public, you want to do something that is probably not very proper, but if you think you won't have consequences for it, you will do it. And like
in British culture anyway. That's why we have obnoxious football hooligans, right? When you go on a train at night after a match, you get like really loud people singing football anthems and things. You won't see that in Hong Kong in general. Again, don't want to speak for everyone every time, but in general, that's not really a thing as much, because those people would feel like it is not the right thing to do. If I do it, then I would be perceived as a shameful person in society. Even if nobody's actually shaming them, they would feel their own shame. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, where was I? Mostly when talking disparagingly about Europe. Yeah, do you, Limbo, do you have a bad word for Brits? Because I know in German they say like Insel-afar. Yeah, island ape. That's what Richard Simcoe calls himself sometimes. He just like self-deprecatingly calls himself an island ape because he's from the island. That's also so British of him to be self-disparaging. But anyway, so back to Rhapsody in Manx. It's been a while. It just so happens that I had, because Eastgander was also waiting for my next stream, right? But what happened 2 weeks ago? So the past weekend I was in Huddersfield, attending the Contemporary Music Festival. It's from last weekend until this weekend. But I basically just go to the weekends because it's harder to justify the train ticket if it's only one concert. But if I go there and see 3-4 concerts, it's more like justifiable. And then the week before that, where was I? I was probably busy with something, or maybe I was tired. Let me check. Where the fuck was I the weekend before that? I actually don't remember. But I was something happened. Something came up, so I didn't do the stream. So yeah, I was gonna wait till the next one, so the weekend from now, but just because of the pressing nature of today, I wanted to share a bit and also do this like cultural ambassador thing, sending the right message out there, telling people the truths, and combat misinformation, and also tell you guys something about my culture, which I don't do often. I like on these streams I talk a lot about the cultures that I'm learning about. Like, I've made so many streams / videos about Welsh culture, and I've done nothing about Hong Kong. I should have done that earlier. I guess it's because I feel like there's more people out there to do that, maybe. Israel and Melody should be employed as the Hong Kong culture ambassadors. I don't know. Employed? I mean by the Hong Kong government? I don't think they would be very happy to employ us to represent them in any capacity, especially not Melody. That's all I'm saying. And also, by the way, since you spelt her name with an I, we actually gave her an informal Welsh name. It's Alaw, because Alaw means melody, Alaw, and it is an incredibly common, like, overused name in, like, I don't know, Gen Z, Gen Alpha-ish Welsh girls. It just so happens that like she's in that generation and her name is Melody, so I'm like, yeah, your Welsh name is Alaw. It's like when I was little and wore a helmet riding my bike versus kids who were cool and not having a helmet. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, sometimes I ride without a helmet as well. But the difference being, like, if you don't wear a helmet, you bear the consequences, right? And it's also about the culture and the infrastructure. I mean, don't get me started with like infrastructure talk, but in the Netherlands, people don't really need a helmet because the infrastructure is so safe. You can just ride in the bike lanes and you'll be fine. But in the UK, I don't know where you are, I can't tell. But in the UK, you have to wear a helmet because you have to ride on car roads, which I do all the time. But then if you get hit, I mean, if you're on a bike, you get hit by a car, then the car is mostly fine, right? The driver's going to be fine. But if you smoke in the construction site that happens to be dangerous, happens to be not properly safeguarded, then what you get is like hundreds of people dead. So I've seen someone saying, I almost prefer drug users because, like, not me, I'm quoting someone, right? Drug users are better because they only harm themselves. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't understand drugs as well as this statement would appear to. But yeah, there is something in that. I actually hate that, especially when I'm traveling alone. Makes me feel a bit unsafe, but also people being loud. Yeah, exactly. I think we've spoken about that. Just people being annoying in public. And also, I guess that also relates to catcalling, right? Again, I don't speak for everyone, but my impression is catcalling is not as prevalent in feminist discourse in Hong Kong as it is in the West. I'm sure it happens. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it happens. And definitely, my partner has been sexually harassed in public, which is really sad. But I don't hear people talking about it as much. So either people need to talk about it more, or it's like, as I surmise, it's not as much of a thing because people feel more shame when they're in public. Yeah, I mean, like, on average. I mean, definitely there's shameless people everywhere, obviously, but on average, people feel more shame in our society just because of the way our culture works. Can't think of any disparaging words for Brits off the top of my head, but I will look. Han have Insel after. Let me check. Insel afar, not afar. Afar, AFFE, afar. Island monkey or ape. Sino-Taiwanese American historic. That's a long descriptor. Sun Lung Ki says that Chinese culture lacks the Abrahamic concept of rules beyond physical existence, so that the universal social contract does not exist. What does that mean? That's too much for me. I've had a very long day. You got to explain it to me, Iskander. I'm very stupid today. I need to sleep early as well, just because of the radio thing. The rules beyond physical existence. Oh, really? Okay, right. In Sinophone communities... Okay, so the universal social contract does not exist in Sinophone communities. Rules are negotiable. When no one is looking or amongst Zigeyan, it means that you can do whatever you want. As universal rules beyond concrete human relations are... I do agree, yeah. I think I do agree. I think that is to an extent true as well for Hong Kong society. Again, Hong Kong is a very weird Frankenstein monster between like British and Chinese cultures and traditions. So there's definitely like elements of both of that. So what you're basically saying is within people you feel like they are your own. The rules are more negotiable. It's all about like people agreeing on things. Whereas with people outside of your group, it might be like, actually, I don't know if I understand it correctly, but my understanding is, the shame thing. I guess like within your own people, you would do things as far as you feel not shamed for. So even if there are rules, as long as people will not shame you for it, at least according to you, then you might do them. Am I understanding it correctly? Wear a helmet. Yeah, I do. I sorry. I only don't wear a helmet when I forget to. Sometimes, like, when I go home, the helmet's in my bag, and then, like, halfway home, I'm like, wait, hold on. There should be something on my head, shouldn't it? And I have to stop somewhere and put it back on. Does Melody do anti-CCP activism? I've only seen her work for women's harassment. I'm not going to say any more on that, but you can see everything that is on her Instagram. Everything that's public is public. I'm not going to say anything more specific. I've seen it's called public versus private risks. Like, do your bad decisions affect just you? Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I see what you mean. So private risk as in things that only affect you, and public things as in like things that would cause consequences to other people. I've never spoken so fast on my streams. I've got a spam bot on Twitch. I thought that was someone. Don't even get me on harassment. I don't talk about it much because I don't necessarily want to, but it's all, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's easier for me, obviously, as a man to discuss harassment from an outsider perspective. I mean, well, no, I'm not going to get into that. No, not this publicly. But hint, yeah. Also would like to say PSA, please don't use Hellotalk. It's pretty much a hookup app. Yes, it's true. I don't know how that is relevant, but yeah, don't use Hellotalk. It's shady in many ways. It is lots of people trying to get a hookup on there, and also it has engaged in shady business practices, and you can see that on Kevin Abroad's Reddit thread and subsequent video. Did you say xylophone communities? Did I? I don't know anymore. As I was saying, I'm speaking so fast that my sounds are almost getting jumbled, and all my classic Hong Kong habits are coming out, as in like confusing s and z, and also confusing n and l. So xylophone, they sound the same thing. Like I was on a call with my mum today, and then she kept saying Lloyd's Bank. And it's not only that we keep turning the N's into L's, but like we don't distinguish between the N's and the L's. That's why people sometimes say L as an N, sometimes people say N as an L. So xylophone. My mum even has a weird sound that I can't replicate. That is some sort of unholy combination of N and L. I like hello. It's somehow both L and also nasal. I don't know how that works. Well, no, I never heard of it, but I feel like there's most dating apps. I'll say it. No, that's the thing. Oh, sorry. I should have specified. Sorry. Hellotalk is a language exchange app. So in theory, you get on there, you tell the app what language you speak and what you're learning, and you can find people who supposedly are learning your language and speak your target language, and you can do language exchange. And it's got like lots of little features to help you, like help each other learning, like recording, corrections, and all that. But what I've heard is if you're there as a woman, you are going to get a bunch of creepy men in your inboxes trying to not even learn your language, but, you know, do other things to you, with you. That's why it's been known that you shouldn't be using that. And kind of sad. Like, there are other ones as well, but I haven't seen a language exchange app that really stands the test of time. I think as much as I want it to be good, Tandem has been getting worse. Language exchange apps are closeted dating apps. Yeah, I mean the concept, on at least the way they function, are very similar, right? That's why people will abuse one for the other. Because I mean the basic concept is the same. You find someone that you desire, except that one is for, you know, a hookup or a relationship, and the other one is for language learning. So that's why they have a lot in common and people misuse it. The amount of weird offers I've had. What offers? You have lots of creepy women. Really? So not just men there, then? How does a language app turn into that? Yeah, I just addressed it. Would you like to be enslaved? Jesus Christ. Whoa. That's OnlyFans. That's... wow. Would you like to be enslaved? That's a completely different vibe. Not just like, oh, do you want to go out? It's now occurring to me that every YouTuber I've seen do a sponsor read for a language chatting app is a dude. Really? I haven't seen any sponsor read for those. I know Kevin Abroad did that. Oh, he was close. I just said close, not close. He was close to doing that, but he pulled out, no pun intended, because of the shady practice of the company, Hellotalk. Big yikes. I met one of my language friends on Hellotalk. Yeah, I'm sure that there can be good people, but it's just the prevalence of creepy people that sort of ruins the whole thing, right? What a tongue does not touch a tongue, one cannot... When a tongue does not touch a tongue, one cannot learn the tongue. Iskandar. Naughty. I know you would think that. Dil dile değmeden dil öğrenilmez. See, I do understand the grammar. I just don't understand the language very well. If it's a language app, I'd assume it's a language app. Sadly, that is not the case. I had to use a fake name on the app because one of my seminar teachers tried to add me. Your seminar teachers, not the other way around. Because usually what happens is like a student tries to add a teacher and the teacher rejects it. Because my supervisor says, oh, I don't add my undergrad students. Oh, the postgrads are fine. And then sent me some weird messages so I had to block, change names, and hope she didn't remember. No, that's weird. That's weird. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I was talking about my call to my parents today, and that was, BBC just posted some new thing. Oh, hold on. Let us look at this together. Because I've been on social media all day, just looking at all the stuff that's happening, all the footage and reports. Yeah. So pretty scary. I think that must have been early in the incident, right? I don't know. I can't tell. Actually, is this pre-burning or post-burning? That looks like a lot of burning. 42 seconds later. This is now the deadliest blaze in Hong Kong in 6 decades. Oh, what's the next record to clear? Like a century? The cause of the fire is still unclear. But authorities believe renovations using flammable material and scaffolding helped spread the flames. Oh, that is a bit not immediately wrong, but sort of implies that as well. I mean that is probably correct. I mean, let's not make any judgment, but yeah, it could be worse. I've seen worse for sure. I think The Guardian was pretty open about the scaffolding being the factor. Like, maybe a factor that's possible, but lots of British media were like, oh, the factor for sure. And then the Independent just went ahead and said, oh, no, it has to be banned. There's pressure on the government to ban that practice. It's almost like the government doesn't want to ban it, and then everyone wants to ban it. But in the reality, it's the opposite. Like, people believe, and they know that the practice is safe. The government wants to ban it. So the Independent just got it the complete other way around. Lots of old people. Yeah. 1,800 units. Okay, so, all right, because I was counting all 8 buildings. So 8 buildings together, that would be like over 2,000 units. But thankfully, the eighth one was spared. I'd feel so incredibly fortunate if I lived in the 8th building. To the north of Hong Kong Island. Wait, what? To the north of Hong Kong Island, where the city's wealthy live. That is a very confusing sentence. I mean, or I should say, like, irrelevant. I mean, it is in the north of the city. It is in the northern New Territories, northeast. But I don't know how Hong Kong Island plays into that. I guess it's because most expats live in Hong Kong Island. That's why they feel the need to specify to the Brits in Hong Kong who are reading this. You're fine. It's miles and miles away from you. You're okay. Don't worry. I'm sure you've never been to that area of Hong Kong, because even crossing the harbour to the mainland Hong Kong is already too scary for you. So now you know. It's not on Hong Kong Island. I guess that's what it was here for. It's yeah, they're old and less likely to have made it out quickly. Yeah, really sad. But I was also talking to my partner about this earlier. That was one thing that really got me when I was like bawling my eyes out in my common room. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, like, I don't cry at sad things, I cry at inspiring things. And the main thing that made me really cry was the way that people came together, because Hong Kong people are horrible. Like, we are just terrible people. We're cold, we're mean, and we always criticizing everyone around us. That's the inherent part of the culture, right? Whether it's online, in real life, even before the internet age, people are mean to everyone, and people is like, people are so stressed in this city, in this entire culture. Everyone's is under pressure, so they're always in a hurry, and they hate everyone around them because everyone's like getting in the way. But then when something like this happens, it's like it becomes a completely different culture. Like, in a crisis, everyone shows so much love. They're like doing everything they can to help, like make the web app, as I said earlier, the web app, not web app, or like communicating on group chats and things to make sure people are okay. There's spreadsheets of people like checking on each other. people sending resources they need, like on the scene. Like I've seen videos of people doing human chain and passing along resources that people need to help the people in need. And people are so incredibly supportive on social media and in real life. Like everyone's suddenly so positive, like encouraging people to fight on. And also obviously people give money because that's the easiest way you can help. And lots of people do have money in Hong Kong. So it's like a complete different shift. And that also brought me back to 2019 when the protests were happening, because the same thing was going on. And also to 2014 during the peaceful protests, when we occupied the road over there. Because I remember in 2014 I went to the occupation zone, and it felt like a utopia. The first time I was there, people were like, "Oh, hi, what do you need? Would you like some water? Oh, do you need help crossing this little barrier over here? Let me give you a hand." People were studying together, like teenagers were studying in the occupation zone, people helping each other with their studies, lots of encouraging messages on post-it notes. And I was like, what the hell? Like everywhere outside of this zone, Hong Kong people are horrible. But inside this zone, everyone is incredibly supportive and positive. It's like a weird like portal you go to a different part of the city. And then it happened again in 2019 when the violent protests broke out. I mean, it was violent protests, but like on the protesters' side, everyone was like, I mean, we use the term saojuk, which means like hand and legs, and that means like brothers, like comrades, you might say in a certain different parlance. And people, again, so supportive. People use their talents and wits to help each other. Like, for example, people driving protesters home from danger. People passing on resources to help people in need. For example, people who are struck by tear gas and everything. Suddenly, like everyone, at least people on one side, it's a different world. And today I saw that again, and it's just, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make me tear up as much as it did, like I guess 6 hours ago, but it's still like, yeah, we can be a very positive kind of culture and people, and we have the capacity to do that. It's just people normally, I don't know, they need a place to vent. And they put all of that aside until a crisis hits. And the ironic thing is, while I was like sobbing, I remembered all the sociology that I'd studied earlier during my master's. I was doing protest music, right? Back then, I was writing my dissertation on protest music. And then I looked at like national focus. And it's always like, in period of national focus, it's the culture morphs, and also whether if a national symbol, for example, protest or like a national anthem or national flag, if that symbol is born out of the national, like period of national focus, it maintains that power to rally people around it. So yeah, it's incredible to see when that happens. I mean, obviously I don't want that to happen, but when it does, it's just like, it's like a miracle. Like, oh my god, people can be so nice. And because there's so many people, so in a small space, there's so much talent, and there's so much resources as well, and it just all shows. And speaking of symbols, here's I'm calling it. Okay, this is I'm placing my bets. I think bamboo might become a new like symbol for like the Hong Kong spirits, just because, for one, everyone's simping for bamboo now, just because of like bamboo scaffolding being attacked. And also, I mean, itself is a very classic symbol of resilience. And resilience is basically the classic Hong Kong spirit. Like we said, the Lion's Rock spirits. I'm not going to go into details there, but the whole thing about what Hong Kong spirit is resilience. You face financial hardship, you work hard, you make your way out, and you face, oppression and everything, you work hard against it. And yeah, I'm calling it. I think bamboo is going to be the new thing. It might like, it just fits perfectly. It's got the cultural significance and also the symbolism. Sorry, I started monologuing again, just because it got me a little bit. I want to check where should I start reading chat. Should report that. How are the buildings so close to each other? Oh yeah, there's this thing called high density. We just don't have space. That's also, you know, I always say that's the number one thing you need to know if you want to learn anything about Hong Kong culture. Like all the cultural things, all the economic problems, woes, the politics, if also like the attitudes that I mentioned earlier, they're all some sort of result of the high density, and we just lots of people have to huddle together all the time in tiny flats, in buildings that are very close to each other, and people have to travel long distances to work, and they have a commute. Yeah, and that's because we're so tiny. And the weird thing is Hong Kong as a whole is not very dense, but there is a lot of areas that are not livable because we're extremely hilly. Oh, this goes back to like my general studies in primary school. We are very hilly. So imagine, I don't know, like the Peak District. Like imagine Peak District. You've got like the little towns in the Peak District, but like the towns have to house 7 million people. Like imagine that. So that's how you cope with it. And that was always a hazard. That's why the fire regulations was so incredibly tight, because the hazard was always there. Fair enough, I have dodgy teachers. It's amazing. I'd like to say thank you for all your videos. I and my Toy Sanyan love to watch your content. Really? Oh, wait, Toy San. Watching my Celtic languages has made explaining where I come from much easier. Hold on, what do you mean my Toy Sanyan? Is that like is it a partner, or like are you one of them? Are you from what Hoi San? Oh, so you are from a Toy San Gating. So you're from a Hoi San family. Yeah, I'd love to learn Hoi San at some point. I know. Are you guys aware of Inspirlang? I think she's like Hoi San / Cantonese American, and she does lots of teaching content on both Cantonese and Hoi Sanese, and I want to learn Hoi Sanese. I just for fun, you know, something that's very similar to my language. But yeah. So you explain Irish American much easier. Yeah, Irish, that's a whole different thing. But I mean, I've heard there is some sort of movement within like overseas Irish people to learn Irish. Is that a thing? I don't know. Are you interested in that? Watching this horrible event, we've all felt more connected to the larger Cantonese community here in Boston. Oh, that's good. I feel like, yeah, I mean, you can see me right now. I haven't felt as connected to my hometown in a long time as I do now. Just again, that thing with like national focus, right? Crisis, a unique moment, people come together, and I feel very proud of my people and my culture. And I also, yeah, I've looked at people on social media talking about living abroad and watching all this happen. Obviously, me being one of them. Lots of people in Britain, and they say it's really isolating, because you go to work as normal this morning, you talk to your colleagues, the British ones, and you say, "Hey, you're right, good, you, yeah," and but by culture, by nature of the British culture, you have to say, "Yeah, I'm good," right? We had this discussion earlier in another stream. You have to say, "I'm good, I'm well." When it does say "I'm well," "I'm well" is a bit formal, but you know, all good. But you just know you aren't. It's like that meme, like they have to say you're fine, but you're not fine. And it's very isolating. Like everyone that really understands you are just on these little apps on your phone. Like everyone, either other Hong Kong people abroad or Hong Kong people in Hong Kong. I guess especially now when people in Hong Kong are asleep, that even more so. Only other Hong Kong people within my time zone really know what's happening, and they have been following the same things. and they've been thinking about it all night and they can't sleep. And only other people in the same position, they go to work in the morning and they experience the same thing. Yeah, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And then at most, when someone says, oh, you look really tired, because that happened to me. I was talking to my colleagues and they were like, oh, you look kind of tired today. I have to be like, oh yeah, I was up all night. Not playing video games, obviously, but just following this thing in Hong Kong. And I can't go on a rant, right? I can't do what I'm doing now. The reason why I set up this stream is because I want to go on a rant. Oh my god, I can't English. I want to go on the rant. I can't do that. Oh, I wouldn't be able to do that if I were at work. It's a bit like socially inappropriate. Like, yo, don't use this is loading all your trauma onto me, right? You can't be doing that. You have to like ease it in a little bit. So like at most I'd be like, oh yeah, I've been watching that terrible thing happening, and then the colleagues would be like, oh yeah, I heard that. Your family and friends okay? You know anyone who are affected by that? And I have to say no, because I actually don't. I'm very lucky. I did say that to the radio guy today while on the research talk. It's like, no, that's fine. I hope anyway. I don't know anyone who lives there. So to my friends here, that's the only thing that matters. So like none of their friends are affected. So no harm done. At least not a personal way. And it's true that it doesn't really affect me anyway personally, because my family are fine, thankfully. They live in a different district. But it's just when I see all that happen, when I see my people coming together, and I feel like, yeah, I mean, those people, the people supporting them, the people fighting the fires, people trapped in the buildings, they are my people too, right? And it's weird. Like, I don't really think about that a lot. Like, when I'm here, in Manchester, I have a giant Hong Kong diaspora here. We've got older immigrants, got new immigrants, and people keep moving here from Hong Kong. Diaspora is huge, but I don't engage with them. I don't feel as connected to them because I normally see myself as more of a global citizen, partly because I feel relatively integrated into like British culture, and partly because I speak so many languages. I like to explore cultures, so I don't really see myself as much as a Hong Konger normally. I don't feel like a sense of closeness to other people moving up from Hong Kong, at least not as much as they seem to do. But then in these moments, I'm like, oh yeah, I am from there, and that is who I am, and those are my people. It's like it's a classic, patriotic Chinese saying that, you have your country and then you have your family, right? Your family hinges on the country. And I'm fine, guys. I'm fine. I don't need the hug. Just a little bit. And yeah, it reminds me of a few years back, 2014, 2019. Now, I feel something that resembles patriotism, and it's so weird, because I mean, in Britain, patriotism has been getting this like bad rep, right? It's all like the xenophobic racists, everything. And I talk about those people a lot because of the way I live. Me as an immigrant in Britain, like that concerns me directly. So I have housemates who are also like pretty much, they talk shit about British nationalism, British patriotism. So that is kind of a bad word, but suddenly I feel that, I also remember people talking about the Welsh word of patriot, gwladgarol, which is just country lover. And it's kind of ironic because they say that it is very different from the word patriot. I'm like, it means the same thing. It just doesn't have the same connotation because Welsh nationalists don't have the same kind of bad rep. It's kind of xenophobia and all that. Not the same thing as English nationalists. But I guess it's like, it depends on what connotations this has in the different cultures. Because even if you say patriotism in Hong Kong, obviously that by default refers to, you know, Chinese patriotism, and some people don't like that, and it feels very icky, right? It's like cringe. Oh my god! Oh, that election. We have an election coming up in like 2 weeks, a week and a half, and it's patriots only. That means you know, arse lickers and all that. But you know, in this context, yeah, I feel like that's what it is. Anyway, another monologue. You know, I just know that that's going to be a clip. I just know that already. But then I have to go back to looking at chat. I just don't want to like let myself be interrupted that easily. We're over in Tongan. Guy talking with people in the community who are sharing their sentiments. Guangdong, Hong Kong places in my experience where people practice morality rather than preach it. I don't want to overstate. Like, in general, I mean, I've spoken a lot of like nice things about my culture, but like in general, I fucking hate it. Like, I think Hong Kong in general are quite conservative bigots. They are really racist. Like, still, like much more than you would be even remotely socially acceptable in the UK. And I hate that. I don't like that. People are xenophobic, very classist. But like, even, you know, again, like in 2019 in the protest, again, I'm starting to go into a monologue here, but you know, I'll stop myself soon enough. But in 2019, we managed to overcome the racial divide, and that means a big thing for Hong Kongers, because Hong Kongers are so fucking racist towards brown people. I'm not kidding you. I don't envy them. Like, they have a rough life in our city. But in Hong Kong, in 2019, there was like we call that like connection, moment of connection, where in the context of the protest, the racial divide does not matter anymore, and people realize, wait, hold on, they're just one of us. They speak our language. We think the same things. We have the same goals. Bam! Who cares about your skin color? It's kind of sad that only happens in these kind of moments. Like, I wish we were more open towards, you know, diversity, but you know. So I wouldn't say we practice morality, but I guess, yeah, in these cases we do that. Jade's your teacher. Oh, you know Jade. Oh, I've been in touch with her before. Like, we've talked about potentially doing some collaborations on our podcasts, but that never happened. I think she has 1 million podcasts. She wanted me on the diaspora, or like at least like the foreign-born Asian podcast thing that she does. I'm like, I'm not foreign-born. I'm born in Asia. I'm born in my own culture, so I don't feel like I qualify for that podcast. There's a teacher teaching Guelga in Cantonese. That's insane. Tristan, have you seen my video in that Uyghur restaurant, that new one? Because my friends who saw that were like, what the heck, you guys? You speak Cantonese and you talk to the restaurant owners in Uyghur, in Mandarin, in fucking Dutch, not a single English word in sight within that code mixed communication. And that's kind of really slay. Yeah, I love that we're able to do that. I'm talking to friends in California, Singapore, and Vietnam, and we're all bleeding over this. Please take the space you need to take care of yourself in your time. Yeah. It reminds me a lot of Pierre Bourdieu and the capital of identity and language. Connections and values change within the context they appear. I think the beauty of Hong Kong patriotism is that it emerges in moments of interpersonal connection. And I love that. I love that when that happens. And yeah, I feel really patriotic in this instance. But at the same time, we're not allowed to say that because we don't have a country. So we can't say patriotism. Like, my entire master's dissertation was about arguing whether our protest anthem can be considered in a way similar to a national anthem, just by virtue of its social functions and also like its musical features. Obviously, I can't say, and that's my conclusion as well. We can't say that it is a national anthem because we don't have a nation in the formal sense. You know, in the imagined community sense, like the academic sense of nation, maybe. but there's some things that are just off limits, and that's oh well, what can I say? Yeah, but yeah, that also reminds me of something, Iskandar, you said to me at some point. You said, yeah, sometimes I feel like in some, I think, no, what you said is like, oh, in some moments I feel like Hong Kongers, yeah, you do deserve a country. And you know, like a lot of people want one, right? And I'm not going to tell you if I want one or not, obviously. No, I can't say that, not here. But I think, you know, in these moments, I feel like Hong Kong people do deserve a country. Just because the way that they're able to act towards each other like this. A couple of years back, my community had a thing, and I'm part of the diaspora too. I ended up avoiding topic at school entirely. Yeah. I mean, I don't even have like I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I was at work this morning because I was doing my TA work. I had a tutorial this morning at 9, which is 1.5 hours before the time I normally wake up. So and then I just ran into other colleagues, not because of my work, but just because I was trying to take some time in the common room and just think about things on my own, right? And then it happened to show up, and then we talk a little bit. So it's not like I'm like most people in an office environment, and then people talk to me. They do small talk just because we're there. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I run into people and then we do small talk. That's what I did, but not in like an office environment. No, I don't have an office. I wish I did. Yeah, I'm just doing TA work at uni. I have a very hefty teaching week this week. Doing first years and second years. Irish too, especially the American side of the diaspora. Really? Oh, you know, like I talk a lot of shit about like diasporas in America, especially, you know, the Irish Americans, because sometimes they say really stupid shit. But if they are, or if they were open to learning about the culture of the motherland as it is today, then I think there could be a lot of beautiful connections to be made. It's just, yeah, American exceptionalism has blinded some of them to reality. Yeah. Bernadette Devlin was horrified by the diaspora. Okay. Oh, it's been a while. I've been monologuing for a little bit. How long has it been? Over 2 hours, and I didn't even study a single word. Okay, you know what? To distract myself a little bit, I'm going to do some flashcards. So, just because this is still a Rhapsody in Lingo stream, I'm going to do that. And feel free, you know, let's keep chatting a little bit. You can, it's not like I'm not talking about that just because I want to do something else, but yeah, keep talking to me about this. I'm just going to do my flashcards while we're at it. Where am I? That's offer. Kamlas, that's a canal. Deadfrid, that's something like a verdict. Sentence, you know, it's close enough. 冇錯. It's so annoying for some reason. Lots of my apps on my computer can't show lots of, not even Cantonese, but like Chinese characters. I don't know what's going on. Now it's Sant. That's a patron saint. Muin, like a mill? Metal. Shit, what? Metal? Never heard of Muin before. Ore, mineral, mine. Oh, like, as in, like an ore. I love your dedication. I'm doing this deck just because it is probably quicker. I tried doing my Uyghur one last time and it took like the full stream and I still couldn't finish the bloody thing. It's too difficult. And if you look at that stream, yeah, that's pretty much what I did. And I mean, I'm okay with doing that off stream, but I was worried it wasn't very engaging to people, just watching me struggle through the difficult words and sentences, and also reading the Arabic script. It's fun though. It's I'm brute forcing the Uyghur deck the same way I did the Polish deck many years ago, and that's how my Polish got so good. Partly. Cynnydd tyfu lluosogi. Let's make this a verb. Increase. Is it increase or increase? Or is it like the noun for is it the noun increase and the verb is increase? What's the Macau community like? Does an identity exist like it does? I think not as strongly. It definitely does exist, but not as, because for one, we're a bigger diaspora, we're a bigger community, and then we have more, like, we're more prominent globally, which is not. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but lots of times Macanese people just get subsumed into the Hong Kong identity, and like we have all the, you know, the drama, we have the protests, now we have the big fire. Addoli, I know this one. Rhaith Barnwr, just Barnwr. That's Ulster in Northern Ireland. Caravan, I don't remember this one. Oh, what? What is a group? What group? Oh, like a faction. Okay. Sports team, squad. And that's feminine. Feminine, of course it's feminine. Darlledu broadcast. Oxford. Bydd. Is it bydd or byd? It's bydd. Tax. Something like tax report. Is it adroddiad treth? Datganiad treth. Close enough. It's a tax statement. Secondary school. Come on, you gotta be more specific than that. Arglwydd Amddiffyn, Lord Protector, Oliver Cromwell, right? Constitution. Diayok, not guilty. Oh, it is not guilty. Is it rude to ask with the internet in Hong Kong? Is it isolated like the Chinese, where they need VPN to use Western content and most people just use Xiaohong? No. I mean, I think a few years back they started blocking certain sites. Mostly the ones that are really sensitive, like directly related to protests and things. But then I haven't heard anything since. So no, we have free internet for the most part. When I was living in Mongolia, I met many people who were a part of the Chantu. Is it Chantu? Uyghur community there. One of the things that was interesting that they claimed they could not speak Uyghurs in China. What, really? Oh, that's interesting. But do they speak a variation of the language? I'm sure Iskandar would know more about that. 大家好，注意安全. Yeah, we're safe here. We're pretty safe here. In your experience, do you see wide dialectal diversity among Uyghurs in... Bro, I don't even speak the language yet, so don't... Again, ask Mr. Ding. I'm sure he knows a lot more about that. I know nothing. I literally just know my Uyghur friends, and that was the whole reason I was learning it. I am learning it. Sign. Say, I forgot what this is now. Fuck, allotment. Like where you plant things. A squad. Cynnydd. The progress, increase, that same thing. Difriol. Difri is like destructive, abusive. Yeah, close enough. But the other word. Crefydd, faith, religion. Amrywiad, variation. Rhosyn. Ymgyrch, campaign. Export. Dydd Mawrth. Ynyd. Ynyd, just ynyd. Dydd Mawrth ynyd. Cargaint. Nos Calan Gaeaf. Gwyr Calan Gaeaf, yeah. Cyfandir. Braint, privilege. Darganfod. I was just talking about that. Anffafriaeth. Yeah, not favouring. Not favouring. Cynradd. Primary school. You know what? I'm going to put this as well. Primary school. Off note, that sir is similar to hoist. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. That's a fun thing. That's one of many things I like about Hoisanese, because you got that sir, right? Forgot where you use it though, because I know that some people from Dongguan, where my grandma's from, they also use that sound. Oh yeah, so I know it's in certain contexts that sir is a substitution for sir. So we say sam in Hoisanese, we say sam, and I love that. Yeah, it's such a rare like sound. It's in Hoisanese, it's in Welsh, it's in Icelandic, like Eyjafjalla Jökull. But I don't know where else. Do you know any? Nawat? I think Nawat as well. I mean, it's not like a isolated sir, but they have a t, like Icelandic. Icelandic also does a t, like Jökull. Yeah, but they have the sound anyway. Sean Cord. Semidlin animation. Arian Kyvred, close enough. It's in Mongolian. Oh right. Oh no, hold on. Mongolian has the voiced one, right? I think, but not the voiceless one, if I remember correctly. Hold on. I'm trying to recall. Because when I was in Oxford, my Mongolian colleague's name had that sound in it, but I forgot what the name was, because we used like a nickname. There was a shortened name that she called herself, but then she told me the full name once, and then back then I could almost say it because I thought it was a sh, and then turns out it was a z. It has both. Really? Okay, right. So I was wrong. I stand corrected. So my colleague's name had a voiced one. Just joining, we're talking about Mongolia. We went through like very heavy discussions. Now I'm just doing some flashcards, and then we happen to be talking about the s sound in various languages. Mission, and that's Shamrock. Kavruimo, like no, not dedicated. I don't remember. Binding. Like the rules, that should be binding. Kavruimo. Oh, because I'm thinking Umruimo. Because Rui probably means like dedication, right? So is a reflexive, like myself. So if I Umruimo, I dedicate myself. But Kuv is a with, like con in Latin. So Kavruimo probably means you make someone dedicate. Probably. Archeskop. Claudio. Like something to do with rocks. Mine. Forgot this one. It's really weird. It's a weird word. Sunges. Taingar. Elect. Director. Cyfarwyddwr. Dydd Gwener Groclydd. A groclydd. Diweithdra. Oes yr efydd. Oes efydd. Sheriff. Cyfnod. Diwaith. Llynges. Channel. Canal, sorry. Not channel. Dydd Mawrth. Ynyd. Arian cyfredol. Cyfred. Again! Not cyfredol, cyfred. That's a mine, like a mineral. Rhydychen. I wonder if mwyn means for the sake of. I wonder if mwyn has something to do with mwyn meaning like mineral. Mwyn. No, not necessarily. Oxford. No, it's easy. Worship. Cyfarwyddwr. Not guilty. Progress. Allotment, like where you plant things. Rhosyn. Squad. Religion. Dydd. Nos Calan Gaeaf. Gwyl Calan Gaeaf. Darganfod. Sean Corn. Archesgob. Diweithdra. Dydd Mawrth. Ynyd. Arian cyfred. Binding. Cyfarwyddwr. Llynges. Cyfnod. Easy peasy. sorry, it always happens when I stream for a little bit. Like my nose starts doing weird things. So I guess that's a signal for me to like, yeah, pretty much bring that to an end. That's a lot of people watching. That doesn't normally happen. Where are all you guys? Like, chat is so quiet. That doesn't really reflect the number of people watching. Normally, like with 20 people, that would be more chat. When were you on Question Time? When? So for one, that is not like Question Time as in the British one, but the Welsh equivalent. I just put Question Time in my posts and things just because, you know, people know that. It's a Welsh equivalent called Pawb by Var, and that was on the 30th of October, which is almost a month ago. That was evening. They do an episode like every other month or something. It's really sparse. So it's been a while. Killer Bunny, hi, what's up, guys? Yeah, we a lot's going on. I guess not as much now. Let me quickly look at the news. I guess my news are mainly Instagram now. I don't feel good about it. Hold on. Oh, Iskandar sent me a private message. I could have said that in chat, then we would have read it. Okay, I'll read that later. But I'll quickly. Oh, by the way, guys, if you want English language Hong Kong news, that's where I usually go to. Where is that in this one? The Hong Kong Free Press. It's not necessarily free as in like freedom for Hong Kong, but rather free as in the press. You know, it's independent. That's what it means. And also support it if you want some more English Hong Kong news. Yeah, no updates. That's the latest update. So 75. I can only imagine it going up. But yeah. So I think that will be it. Sorry, this stream is so different from the usual. There's a lot of like trauma dumping. But I will see. I haven't decided. I told you because last weekend I was in Huddersfield for the Contemporary Music Festival. I haven't decided if I'm going this weekend. So this weekend is the end of the festival. I might go. If I go, then I won't be doing streams. But otherwise, I might be able to like get back to my usual regular scheduled content of, I don't know, what should I do next? I haven't decided. Currently, I have two things, like two ongoing series. The citizenship testing, which I just studied a little bit for, and the Uyghur streams. I actually don't know what you guys prefer. I imagine Iskandar might prefer the Uyghur, but I can't decide. It's always a tough choice between the two. Like sometimes I would alternate between them. At some point, I was thinking doing 2 times a week, and I can do both every week. But it's kind of a burnout because, especially because I'm not earning anything from these things. So I'm just it can get a bit tiring. But what else? Yeah, I might be doing those. An update on other streams. I still have the learning about mythology and Celtic cultures thing in mind. If you guys were not up to date, I made a document, a Google Doc. That is, if you scroll down my YouTube channel posts, you can find that Google Doc. You can suggest things about Celtic cultures and mythology and legends for me to learn about. And then at some point I will just read Wikipedia and things and go through them. And I envision doing that shortly before the release of that video game based on Welsh mythology, which I think has been delayed. That's awesome. Yes, I can't be bothered to look for the link for now, but you can scroll down my channel post and it's on there. It is somewhere down there. Yeah, just because I thought that might coincide with the game thing. The game is supposed to come out in 2025, which is actually very close to it drawing to a close. So I assume something has gotten in the way. Oh, I don't assume, I know, because I'm in contact with the developer. So I know that something has gotten in the way. But he recently worked with a friend of mine to put out a simplified Chinese translation for some reason. So the game is actually at least the Steam listing of the game is available in simplified Chinese, and also the game probably will be as well. But the audio is in Welsh, so that's interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I want to stream that. I don't normally stream games. I know most people do games, like, regardless of what their niche is, but for me, I think doing games just sort of goes against, not against, but like doesn't go with what my channel is about. So if I find some games that are relevant, I will stream them, but that doesn't happen very often. So that's my preview. Thank you for joining me on this very special, very difficult stream. How did you feel about Sinners? I don't know anything about Sinners, so I don't watch things that much, sadly. I would love to, but I'm too stressed about most things to watch anything at all. Like, I have such a long watch list, not for sure, and I need to sort out the Netflix sharing problem as well. But yeah, I'm applying for jobs and all that, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, again, thank you for joining me today on this. I hope you enjoyed it in a weird sadistic way, or I guess like a empathetic way. But I mean, if you're empathetic, then you wouldn't be enjoying it in the sense that, you know, because you wouldn't be happy, right? But but enjoy it as in, like, it provided some sort of value to you, I guess. But yeah, I will see you in the next one, hopefully this weekend. But I'll put out notifications and things. I normally try to. Oh, by the way, join my Instagram broadcast channel. If you're still here, join my broadcast channel. I should have said that earlier because people are leaving now. But join my broadcast channel, because I try to, like, put announcements there, and when I have a new stream, I put it there on my story as well. And you'll be notified, and I can, like, responsibly spam you. Thank you so much for everything you do, Mochara. Good night, hope you're doing okay. I'm feeling better now. I think I was feeling worse this afternoon when I was, like, I think me and my partner were, like, sort of sharing the, I don't know if you call it trauma. You call it trauma? Sharing the despair, and that in a way it made it better, but in a way it also made it worse. And then afterwards I started talking travel plans with my family instead, and that took my mind off it a little bit. And then now it helped, you know, expressing that. So thank you for being with me. I mean, the title is literally just please hang out with me, and you have done your job. So good job chat. I'll see you in the next one.